Hello, good afternoon. How are you all doing out there? If you're like me in Sweden, you're in Northern Europe, we've got a beautiful Monday afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for joining. If you're joining on the live and if you're on the replay, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to a Monday live. I'm going to talk a little bit this afternoon about a story of how through being really shit at poker, pardon the French, gave me a little tool, gave me the understanding of how to transform my days when my days were sliding into overwhelm and disappointment, and started to feel despondent. So if, like me, that you have a tendency to let bad days and bad moments in your day or weeks or months or whatever, if you have a tendency to let those things slide and get worse, and instead of pausing and stepping back from then actually taking control, you're going to like this. I'm going to teach you a little tool that I learned right in the middle of being woeful at poker again, that you can use to take control of that day, bring a bit of balance back, raise your energy, and also have those things contribute to your own kind of, your own critic, silencing the inner critic and giving yourself a bit of support so you can get back into the game in terms of what you're doing. So if you're watching live, say hi, let me know where you're from. I know it's Monday afternoon. I'm sure everyone's sort of busy doing their Monday to-do lists, but if you're live, say hi. I'm trying a new piece of technology today, so I might get a bit distracted trying to work this stuff out, but bear with me. And if you're on the replay, give us some love, say hi, and if you like this and find this is useful, then I'd love to hear how and why. So I'm rubbish at poker. Okay, I mean, I'm really bad. Okay, actually, let me dial that back a little bit. I'm not so bad anymore, but I used to be really shit. Okay, they say when you first start playing poker, the way you play the game and your approach is quite an accurate reflection of who you are as a person, and that was super true of me. All right, I just couldn't delay gratification. I had to win every hand. So my brain was just overly optimistic, working all out. Even if I had a 9 and a 2 in my hand, which, by the way, is technically the worst poker hand, my brain would still some kind of work out a way of like, yeah, but what if, no one's had 4 9s? Surely I'm going to get 4. And I just play every single hand. However, I never went all in. I had a very low risk tolerance to going all in and possibly completely losing and being kicked out of the game. All right, I just love playing the game of poker. So anyway, by the way, does this resonate with you? If you're a poker player or you play cards, give me your favorite poker suit in the comments below. Personally, I'm a diamonds guy. I don't know why. For some reasons, if I get the queen and 7 of diamonds, it's almost guaranteed I'm going to win. I don't know how that really works, but it makes me feel good anyway. So I'm a diamonds guy. Let me know what kind of, if you're a club, spade, diamond, or hearts person, drop it in the comments. I'd love to know if you get into poker. So anyway, going back to, I think it was in April, we're in the early stages of quarantine, April, May, and in the village that I used to live in the UK, a place called Beaconsfield, my pals and I would arrange online poker games. We had a PokerStars account. We set up a little private table, set all the details of the betting and stuff, and then we'd have Zoom on the side for the banter. Always got to have banter. It's not a poker night without banter. And we'd get into it, and we'd have just a great laugh. It's as good as you can get without actually being in an organized poker game. So on this one particular night, as was usual, I'm just going in, I'm trying to win every hand, and I'm just getting cleaned up. I'm getting nailed on absolutely everything. And my chip stack is going down. The blinds are going up. The blinds is basically the amount that you have to pay at least twice in a round to actually get into the game. It's compulsory, so you can't just sit there and do nothing. And so I was losing, and I was like, right, okay. And I had this kind of moment of insight. And I said to myself, do you know what, Christian? Just don't lose. Okay? Just for the next 10 hands, just don't lose. Just take a step back, let the other guys play it out, and just don't lose. Even when it was your turn, when I had to commit money, like for the blinds, and I won't go into the details of the blind, it's another thing. You know, unless I had pocket aces, 2 aces or less, you know, I had a really, really good hand, just don't go in and just take a step back and watch what's going, read the game, calm down. And there you go, calm's creeping in there. And, you know, the amazing thing happened. Unsurprisingly, I gave myself a little bit of time and a bit of space to what was going on. I started to read and understand how other people were playing. And I missed all this. You know, I missed all this in my kind of exuberance and optimism of trying to win every poker hand. I missed the fact that certain players had certain characteristics and behaviors that I could leverage, right? It's basic poker stuff, right? It's just, you know. And it occurred to me during that game that that's quite an interesting metaphor and way of managing yourself in life. And when things aren't going well, what if we just, instead of trying to keep on winning, what about we just focus on not losing, right? So if this is resonating with you, give me a 1 or in the comments below. Just let me know if the whole concept of not losing is something that resonates with you and something that you could try out, because it really does work. So going back to the poker game, lo and behold, I came back in after 10 hands, feeling a bit more confident, a bit more focused. I had the lay of the land, and I won. I'd never won a poker game before, and I was delighted. And ever since then, I've kind of tried to deploy the same strategy to varying degrees of success. Hello, Graham, my cousin online. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, Graham says agree. But so let's go into a little bit more about how how it actually works. So, and I'd forgotten about this, by the way. So after the game, I must have sat down and sort of worked this out in my head as I do, and developed a little tool to myself. And I'd completely forgotten about it until last week. I was searching something in my Evernote, my online note-keeping software, and this note cropped up, and it's called, I'm actually going to read it to you now. It's called The Loser Inventory. Nice title, but there you go. And because it occurred to me that if I'm in the middle of a day and things are going shit and things are sliding and I'm getting frustrated and despondent and overwhelmed, if I'm going to turn my day around and use a strategy of not losing, I have to figure out what is it that makes me lose, because we're all different. Yeah, we all have our own, you know, our own quirks and our own ways of seeing the world and responding to what's happening around us, all different types of careers and things. But I had to figure out what is it that's typically going on when my days are going south, right? So I found this note, and I've obviously written this down and used it, and I thought I'd just read it for you today. Is it my, you know, give you an idea of how I've approached it. So here it is, the loser inventory. Here's 10 things. I'm going to read it just verbatim. Here's 10 things that are typically going on when I slip into losing mode. In brackets, NB, no such thing as losing, only learning. Ah, good point. Okay. You know, this is anti-positive psychology, isn't it? Like, wow, why focus on what makes you lose, right? All that type of stuff. There is no such thing as losing. There is only learning and feedback. So just for the purpose of the story and the exercise, give me some creative license here. So here's 10 things that are typically going on when I slip into losing mode. Number 1, hiding behind cold emails, just sending cold, impersonal emails for quantity versus quality. Recycling easy to contact peeps. That's basically reaching out to people that I know are safe, that are well within my comfort zone, that will be pleased to hear from me, but probably aren't going to get me moving any forward. Sending cold friend requests on LinkedIn. I mean, just, if, you know, you feeling me on this one? I mean, the amount of times I've been sat 3-4 in the afternoon just feeling really demoralized and just sending request after request in the hope that I'm going to connect with that one person. That one request is suddenly going to be the answer to everything. You know, big one for me, that. Drowning under impossible to-do lists. You know, at the end of the day, there's so much guidance and advice around productivity out there. But if you're setting yourself more than 3 fairly meaty tasks to do in one day, it's very likely you're going to get overwhelmed. And for me, when I kind of noticed when things were going a bit south on me, my to-do list was ridiculous. All right, it was ridiculous. Slipping into peer envy. Okay, so big thing on self-esteem here. Keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up with our peers, trying to achieve what our peers are achieving, or matching them is really, it seems to be ostensibly important to us, but we do it all the time. And it can have a really negative effect on our self-esteem. So Slipping into peer envy, checking out mates, etc. Task hopping from one task to another. That basically is just another form of procrastination, and just avoiding what needs to be done. Getting triggered and distracted on Twitter. I love Twitter, and sometimes I go on there and I get quite triggered by what's going on. Worrying about money, I think, is a big one, particularly, as somebody who runs his own business. We're constantly looking at cash flow and the bottom line, and we worry. Of course we do. It's probably one of the biggest things we worry about. Number 9, death by website tab. Right, sometimes I can look at all the tabs on my website, and I will probably have anything between 20 and 25 open. I mean, how is that going to be anything but distracting? And secondly, what I found, which is really interesting, is I wasn't intentional in the way I was acting throughout the day. I didn't sit down before each task and set clear intentions about what I wanted to achieve in that task and the energy that I wanted to bring in it. And that's incredibly important and incredibly powerful, particularly around control and controlling your day, controlling your controlling your output, and controlling your emotions, rather than just blindly going from one thing to the next. So cold emails, recycling through easy to reach peeps, cold friend requests, drowning on to-do lists, peer envy, task hopping, triggered by Twitter, worrying about money, death by website tabs, and not setting intentions. So those were the 10 things that I obviously sat down and observed that are typically going on when my days were sliding. So I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to use a strategy of using not losing to turn my day around, and maybe even getting back to winning, but it's not about getting back to winning. It's about stopping the slide, and it's about control and balance. I've got a choice. And the choice is I can do the opposite of those things, or I just don't do them at all. I mean, it's really that simple. Going back to the poker, I can either go in with a really confident hand that I'm almost certain is going to be competitive, or just don't play. It's binary at the end of the day. So in terms of turning those around, I ended up with this list. So when it says, when I sense this happening, here's my options. Number 1, no more emails for the rest of the day, or get one person that is important to your business and get them on the phone, i.e. just get off email, get on the phone. Okay, we all know that to be true. We all hide behind email every now and then. And also the people we're trying to email can hide behind the email. It's very easy to say, oh, I didn't get it, or is at the bottom of a busy day. If you're sending cold emails, for me, it's just choose one person that I know is important, value to me, get them on the phone. Simple as that. Number 2, leave the peeps alone or reach out to someone who scares me. Get out of my comfort zone. We all have people out there that we're intimidated by, or perhaps feel that, they've got a little bit more authority on us. We all know who they are. That's a great strategy of taking big action and getting out of your comfort zone. Change from cold connections to go back to nurture old ones. Go back to some old connections from people that you haven't heard of, that you've had a conversation with, and just go back to them with a purpose of just simply serving them in some way, add value to them, rather than just add more and more non-responsive cold requests. Go back to what you've got. Yeah, use what you've got. Choose one thing that matters most, or what brings the most joy. So this is in response to drowning on impossible tasks. Just for the rest of the day, or whatever it is, whatever the time period is, just choose one thing that matters the most to your business, and what that is, and it's probably the thing at the bottom of your list, or that's been on your list for longest because it's out of your comfort zone. Stretch yourself. Just choose that one thing and just do that and forget everything else. Or just choose what brings you the most joy, because ultimately this is around raising your energy, and you're not going to raise your energy if you're not doing things that you're emotionally engaged with. Okay, what else? Slipping into peer envy. The opposite of that, just stop looking at social media. Just turn it off. Turn all the notifications off. Close all the apps. Or if you find yourself slipping into a bit of cynicism and a bit of envy because your mates are diving off a boat in the Maldives, or they just, somebody there's people in your peer group are doing really well. Send them a message going, mate, it looks like you're crushing it. Love it. I hope you're doing well. So I'm just moving around here because the sun is blazing through. Finally, no good. Where were we? Task hopping. C4. So that's the same as number 4. Instead of drowning under your impossible tasks, just choose one thing that matters. Come off Twitter. Another thing. If you're worrying about money, Again, it's very simple just to stop worrying about money if you can. And if you can't, do some gratitude work. One of the best ways to put an end to unnecessary worry and anxiety over money is to just shift your perspective, shift your energy, and just do some gratitude work around what money has created in the past, what money is going to create in the future. Some simple things like that. Number 9, death by website tab. Either just Command Q, just shut it all down. No one's going to die. Your business isn't going to end. Or just set yourself a task for 15 minutes, put some music on, and save all the pages you want into Evernote so that you can research them later. So I'm kind of talking to myself here, but I'm just illustrating how you can turn all those 10 things that can typically slow you down and make your day worse, how you can turn those around by exercising your choice. And finally, no intentions. That's the easy one there, is just to simply stop what you're doing and set the intention that you're going to take control and balance back of your day now. And you're going to do that immediately by doing some of the steps here. So look, that's it. So you know, if you think about the last time, you know, you had a day or a week, or there was just a period of life when things weren't working, and instead of, you know, leaning in and doing more of the stuff that isn't working, I think about how more valuable it could be just to take a little bit of time to do some self-reflection and go, when my life or when my day is going south on me, what is typically going on, and what choices can I exercise to turn those around? Because I think you will find it immensely valuable. And you'll take back control of your day. You'll bring back some balance. You'll raise your energy back up. And more importantly, it's very self-assertive and very self-affirming. So from the perspective of self-esteem, it's going to really send a positive and powerful message back to yourself. So that's it from me. I enjoy the rest of your Monday. I hope you have found this useful. And if next time you're playing poker, please feel free to use that strategy. Remember, just don't lose. That's it. Just don't lose. And look, it goes without saying, if you've liked any of what I've talked about today, please give me some comments below. And if you want to chat to me in greater detail about this, particularly about the overwhelm and the ability to take control when your day's going wrong, please feel free to reach out. Drop me a message or send me an email to the email below, which is down here, I think, christianhburn@gmail.com. I'd love to chat with you. We can get into it and we can spend some time looking at why you're getting into overwhelm, but more importantly, why you're unable to bring control to that situation and bring the balance and the energy that you need and you want back. Very best for now. Wishing you a lovely Monday evening, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.